Hey, thank you for checking out our video. If you're thinking of renting Casa Chihuahua in Sayulita, Mexico, then you've come to the right place. We just got back from a lovely week there, and we thought we'd make this video to pass along some of the information that we learned along the way. So, without further ado, let's jump into it, because this is a what you need to know video. We're going to cover a few areas. First of all, it's a wonderfully quiet location as it's pretty distant from the town. It's got some ocean view and some ocean sounds. It's a secure place with in-room safes. We've got some neighbors in the jungle that we should talk about. There's a wonderful golf cart culture that we'll kind of educate you on. We want to talk about how reservations are confirmed in Mexico, and then finally pass along what advice we can on the beaches. So let's jump right into it. First of all, Casa Chihuahua is located far from the hustle and bustle of downtown, so it's nice and quiet. In fact, it's actually set back into the jungle, so there are very few neighbors and therefore not a lot of noise. It's about a 10 to 20, maybe 25-minute walk to the restaurants, depending on which one you're going to. Um, it's also at the top of a very steep, unpaved hill, which is helpful in the sense that there's really not a lot of through traffic. Again, you're kind of in the outskirts of the town here, and so you don't have to worry about cars zipping by the way you would downtown. And it does, depending on where you sit, have some ocean view. But again, you're in the jungle, so the natural foliage is going to block some things. Moving on to safety, this being Mexico, it's good to take precautions with your items. So the owners have taken the pains to equip each room with a bolted down hotel safe. And they recommend using this when, out of the property or when downstairs and swimming at the pool, since this is a two-level property. And helpful advice from the cleaning staff was better not to open the windows on the street side of the property, just for added security. Now, moving on to our friends next door. The property is set back into the jungle, as I mentioned. So you're going to encounter some friends along the way. The first of these are coati. If you're an American, these are very much raccoon-like. They're very shy, they're very friendly, but they're also very mischievous. And we left the downstairs kitchen area open a few nights, and we were wondering why donuts were mysteriously disappearing, and the owners helped us understand that it's the Kawadi. So you probably want to close up the kind of living area downstairs at night just to make sure none of your food goes walking away. The other thing, which is just kind of standard for the town, is they do have scorpions. Now, the really handy thing here is that scorpions glow this eerie yellow green color under ultraviolet light, which makes them very easy to spot at night. So, what I recommend, and what everybody recommends, is you buy a ultraviolet light. And this is the one I picked up off of Amazon for $8. And what everybody recommends is at nighttime, you just do a sweep of the bedrooms, kind of under the bed, around the floors, and in the bedding, just to make sure you don't have any visitors who are hanging out and keeping warm. Again, it's a really cheap light. It works extremely well. And I put a link to this one in the comments down below. Now, one of my favorite parts about the town is that it is a golf cart culture. The streets are really narrow and parking is, very limited. So some people choose to get these carts to make getting around town easier. The one thing we found out last minute, which I want to mention, is if you do decide to rent a cart, you need to be sure to ask for the four-wheel drive higher voltage model. As I mentioned earlier, the house is at the top of a very steep hill, and the average golf cart can't get up it. We'd recommend, talking to the folks at Ocean Golf Cart Rentals, just super nice people. But as soon as we told them we were staying at Casa Chihuahua, they immediately called us out. We had to pay a little extra, but it was worth it. Um, Now, again, because this is Mexico, things just work a little bit differently. One of the lessons we learned the hard way is that your reservation is not actually contractually locked for your dates until your initial payment has been deposited. We found this out because we booked our airfare after confirming the reservation on the website, and then the owners had to change the date on us, and so we had to find alternate lodging for the last 2 days. So before you book your airfare, just go ahead and double check with them, make sure your money's been deposited and those dates are secure. And last but not least, the beach. The beach is fantastic. It's gorgeous. It's got great waves. It's really good for surfing for beginners and advanced, but it can fill up fast in tourist season. So if you're not bringing your own chairs and umbrella, what we recommend doing is making sure you go early before it fills up. And the way it works is that there are these bars on the beach, and they often rent out chairs for the day for 30, 40, $50. And that's really your best bet. Our recommendation is to go all the way to the north end of the beach to avoid the bulk of the crowd. And if you go to the end of the Isla Maria street, there's a great little beach bar there where they'll rent you chairs for, I think, $30 a day. And there's an awesome massage tent next door where you can get a ridiculously inexpensive but good massage. Anyway, we hope you find this helpful and enjoy your stay in Sayulita.